Hey guys, it's Jordan here. I just wanted to give a couple quick shout outs before this video begins. I want to shout out Jessie May, her channel Jessie May. Uh, she is incredible. I know I shout her out a lot, but she really is. She's really awesome and an incredible person. And she's also been very supportive, and I've been trying to do the same thing, be supportive of her. And yeah, like I said, she's just really cool, and I also want to thank her for creating this shelf space Discord that she has created, and the book club, because it's gotten more people in the booktube community connected with each other. So I want to thank her for that, and you should totally check her channel out. I'll link her channel down in the description. I also want to shout out other booktubers like Kate from Love Story, her channel Love Story. She is such a super sweet person and really funny. And then there's also Allen from Library of AllenXandria. I don't know why I didn't say that right the first time. He is such a funny person. You should go totally check his channel out. And also, I'm going to link down information about the Discord, possibly, so you guys can get plugged into that. And I also want to shout out my team for the Shelf Space Readathon Reindeer Games. Hashtag Jack Skellington Team. We are going to kill it. Beware of the rest of y'all. I just gotta say that. Because you're going down. And I already told Jessie May she's going down. So, yeah, it's on, people. Anyway, you guys, enjoy the video. Hey guys, what is up, and welcome to my channel. It's a Hardback Life. My name is Jordan, and today we're going to be talking about the Reindeer Games readathon that I'm going to be participating in via Shelf Space Discord and book club started by Jessie May. Now, I just have to tell you guys real quick that you guys definitely should be plugged in to the Shelf Space Discord, because we have some fun times there. It is, oh my god, I have made a lot of friends via this Discord, and just like this whole community, the booktube community is so great. And yeah, I love everybody that is part of this. And if you're from the Shelf Space Discord, I love you. You guys are great. And thank you for being welcoming these last couple months or so. Anyway, you guys, let's get started. As usual, by the way, I'm going to share with you what I'm currently reading, and then we're going to get into it. Anyway, what I'm currently reading is the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. Now, I've read most of this series back, I think, when the first movie came out is when I discovered the series, because I didn't know it was a book series. So, yeah, I discovered it like 2010 or 11 when the first movie came out. And I watched the movie first, and then I read the book. But that's because, like I said, I didn't know it was a book series until someone pointed that out to me. And I was disappointed in the movie after reading the book. I was so mad at the movie. And yeah, so I'm doing a reread of the series because I didn't finish it the first time I read it. So yeah. Like I said, I'm going to be participating in a readathon in the Shelf Space Discord. And I think, yeah, it's a month-long readathon, so it's this whole month. I am super excited. And it's called, like I said, it's called the Reindeer Games Readathon. And in this readathon, we have to read a certain amount of pages. Well, we have to read a bunch of pages a day and then report it um, to our team leader, and then they're going to record that, and then we get a certain amount of points. I can't remember how many points. I'll have to link that down in the description, the info. But yeah, I think we get 5 points, I think, for finishing the book, but a certain amount of points racked up every day for how much we read. And there's 12 prompts, and let me give you those prompts really quick right here. And these prompts have names, which is really cool. So, and let me go over the prompts with you as well as share with you the books that I am reading. So here we go. Okay, so all these prompts have names to them, and I will share with you the book that I'm reading as well, along with the prompt. So the first prompt is called Christmas Tree, and that is read a book set in a forest. And for that, I chose The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is a classic, guys. This is a huge classic adult fantasy book that is basically the world of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, whatever. So it's just basically this, and I love the movies, except for, well, I haven't seen the Battle of the Five Armies and the Hobbit trilogy, but yeah, I love the movies pretty much. And Lord of the Rings is actually on another shelf, like above my dresser. I'm finally excited though that I get to read. I'm gonna read these books. So, second prompt is called Santa's Elves, and that one is called. It says read a book with elves, fae, or other magical beings. And I chose for this one Akamath by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in an ACOTAR trilogy, and which has fae creatures in the book series. It's basically a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but with fairies. And I read ACOTAR back in July, and if you don't know what these stand for, ACOTAR is the A Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy. Akamath is A Court of Mist and Fury, and then ACOWAR is A Court of Wings and Ruin. And so, like I said, the second book, Akamath, is gonna be my choice for reading a book with fae or elves, like that kind of thing. So I'm really excited to get into this. And funny thing is, Allen from Library of AllenXandria just read the first book, and oh man, it was so much fun watching his vlog for that whole book, because obviously he's not really into this type of book, but it's fun to see. He did it because of a punishment, and you should go check that video out. I'll link it down in the description because it was great. Anyway, this is what I'm reading for the second prompt. Third prompt is Christmas Lights, and that is read a book with red or green on the cover. And again, with the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, I chose the final book in the original trilogy because there's going to be a new trilogy for the series coming out. And I chose ACOWAR, which is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. Now, this is a huge chunker. I think it's like... Okay, like about 700 pages, not horrible, but still big. Number 4 is called Christmas Carol, and this one is Read an Own Voices novel. And for this one, I chose Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. This book, I've been wanting to read it since like July. And like if you I've been wanting to read this book since July, and I just haven't gotten to it yet. Like, well, okay, I started it like back in August, but I didn't really continue with it because there are other books that I just decided to put in front of it, which is such a unfortunate thing because this is a powerful book. This is about a girl named Amira Tucker, who she's a POC, by the way. She takes 2-year-old Briar, who she's a nanny for, to the grocery store. And when she goes to this grocery store, a security guard approaches her at some point and accuses her of kidnapping the child. And the other main character in this book series, or not book series, in this book, the mother of the child, is like, she has her, like, I guess, social media page. Like, she does a lot of, like, stuff like that. And after this whole situation goes down with Amira at the grocery store, she tries to help Amira in any way she can, but it gets worse. And I'm really excited to read this. I'm at least continue it. Anyway, this is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. It is called Family Holiday Time, and this one is Read a Shelf Space Buddy Read. And the one of the shelf space buddy read books that was picked was a book that I wanted to wait and read till like 2021, but like the other two books that were picked for this buddy read, I just wasn't interested in. Like one of them was a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and I have a theater background, and Romeo and Juliet is not my fave. In fact, it's one of my least fave Shakespearean plays because I love Shakespeare. I can read me some Shakespeare. I've been in also a couple Shakespearean plays, including Romeo and Juliet. So I have some sour feelings about that show and about that play, which I'll probably have to rant about it in another video because, like I said, I wanted to talk about theater related stuff and get you guys more into it, like interested. So that'll be a video for later. But the book I chose was Wheel of Time, Eye of the World, book 1 of the Wheel of Time series. And I'm scared because this is a 14 book series that I didn't want to commit to till next year. But I'm doing it early. So fingers crossed. Because I counted, this is 782 pages. I'm kind of scared because, yeah, this is a huge book. And I've noticed that they get bigger. So fingers crossed that I can finish it. Or at least get as far as I can through this book. Alright, the next prompt is Homemade Present. It's called Homemade Present. And this says, read a self-published book. Now, I don't have the physical copy of this book that I'm going to talk to you about. It's called Legacy of Highborn, or Legacy of the Highborn. It's written by one of my good friends from high school, TJ Stufflebeam. And I haven't really gotten that far into it. I'm like on chapter 2. but it's super good so far. It's definitely has like kind of a Lord of the Rings vibe mixed with like Brandon Sanderson kind of vibe is what I'm getting from it. But yeah, so you should definitely pick it up. I'm gonna have a picture of it right here so you can see what I'm talking about, and I'm gonna post the link of where you can find it on Amazon. I know it's on Amazon, and I don't know what other platform he is selling his book through, but yeah, support my friend. He's a great person, and from what I can tell, like, I mean, I've read some of the stuff from it already. He's a great writer. Next prompt is stocking stuffers, and that is read a novella or short story collection. And for that, I chose Broken Throne by Victoria Aveyard. She is responsible for the Red Queen series. This is a collection of short stories based off of that series. Like one story we have is the before story of what happened to one of the main characters' parents, because one of the main characters, one of Cal's mom, talks about her before the inevitable happened to her. So yeah, I'm really excited to get into that, and plus I think it's a whole collection of like all the short stories that Victoria Aveyard wrote for this series, and I think it's all in here because yeah, it's a collection, Red Queen collection. So I must have all 4 short stories, including the one that she did a few years ago, or was it? Yeah, like a year or 2 ago. Anyway, this is Broken Throne. Alright, next one is called Naughty List. And this is read a book with an unlikable protagonist. And you guys will like my choice for this because you're like, oh, I so agree. And the book I chose to read for this prompt is Breaking Dawn in the Twilight series by Stephanie Meyer. Now, I've mentioned many times that I've been doing a Twilight reread this whole year in 2020, and I plan on getting it done. So, and I'm glad that this readathon is allowing me to do that. Now, I've already started this or restarted it again. I read chapter 1 like via audiobook, and I liked the person who's reading, so I'm going to continue following along, whether it's via the book or just reading or just like listening to it in my car. Anyway, Breaking Dawn. And the next one after that is called He Sees You When You're Sleeping, which is very creepy to be thinking about, especially with this prompt. So it says read a horror or thriller or suspenseful novel. And for this one I chose Soul Survivor by one of my favorite authors in the thriller / suspense drama, genre. One of my favorite authors in the thriller / suspense genre, and that is Dean Koontz. Oh man, I have several of his books behind me. I've read like maybe 4 or 5 of them. But yeah, I love him. He's really good when it comes to like I said, telling the story, and just the dialogue between the characters is so spot on. This book is about a man named Joe Carpenter who lost his wife and 2 daughters via a plane crash. And a year later, he gets approached by this girl who is a supposed survivor of the plane crash, because originally they said there were no survivors. But this girl approaches him claiming that she was a survivor and she knows what really happened. And so throughout this book, um, they try to figure out the truth, but at the same time, the people who know the truth are trying to shut that girl up, and also because he's affiliated with her now, they're trying to take him down. So they're kind of running for their lives while trying to figure out the truth. And also, he is he was a crime reporter. So that's another element that will play into this book. And I can't wait to read it. Hold on, guys, we're almost done. Alright, the next one is Checking It Twice, and this is reread a book. This is reread a book that you have previously read, or DNF'd, or took a break from. And for that prompt, I chose Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. Now, I read this, or at least tried to read it, back sometime last year. I think around summertime last year. I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I loved it from what I was reading. I got like 115 pages in. I think what happened is I just got so caught up with schoolwork and work in general that I just ended up putting it down because I didn't have time. And this, by the way, is about a little boy named Nobody Owens, who his family gets assassinated, but he like somehow he sneaks out of the house. Like, yeah, he sneaks out because the door is open, and he ends up in a graveyard. And this graveyard is full of ghosts that end up protecting him from this guy that's trying to kill his family, or that killed his family. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy, and then enters into this whole different world. I loved it, like I said, from what I read, and I want to reread it and finish it this time. So, I'm very excited. Alright, the 11th prompt is We Three Kings, is what it's called. And that is read a book with a crown on the cover, or with the word crown in the title. And I chose for this one, I mean, I could have gone with Broken Throne because there's clearly a crown on that cover, but that's a short story one, and it's probably my only short story novella type thing that I have, because I don't usually read novellas. But I chose for this one Royal Bastards. And if you can see close up, there is a little crown on top. This is about a girl named Tilla who is a bastard. And if you don't know what that means, in these like medieval times or whatever, a bastard child is considered someone who is hated. because they are not of true royal blood, because they are obviously they're half royal, but they're not full royal, which means they don't matter. And in this book, our main character witnesses a crime, like a murder being committed, and she's basically running for her life, and also trying to stop a war at the same time. And she's not alone. There's other like bastards and other characters like her that get strung like along into this whole thing. So I'm finally getting to read this. This is a trilogy by Andrew Schwartz. Schwartz, I think is how you say his name. And yeah, really looking forward to this. And the last prompt, you guys, is called Under the Mistletoe. And it's read a book with a romance in it. And I chose one of my anticipated books of the year that I have not finished yet. I've read the first chapter, and that is Space Between Worlds. The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. This is a sci-fi which uses multiverse traveling. Our main character, Kara, is in a world where like they've been able to figure out multiverse traveling, but the catch is you cannot visit a world in which your doppelganger is alive. And Kara's doppelgangers have died in over 300 of the worlds. And one of her doppelgangers that dies in this book, which is the cause for her to go to that world, dies very mysteriously. And so she has to figure out how it happened and such like that. And there's also LGBTQ plus representation. Our main character, Kara, falls in love with one of her co-workers. I forget her character, the girl's name. But yeah, so this is a female like romance, and I am so excited to continue this book series, or this book. So looking forward to it. This is my TBR for the Shelf Space Readathon, and you can still get plugged in, get involved. I'm gonna link, like I said, I'm gonna link the Discord info when it comes to Jessie May, so she can help get you plugged into that, or any of us, like, can help you get plugged into that. But I'm gonna leave down the info for that, and then I'm also gonna leave. Anyway, you guys, that was my TBR, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. That would really mean a lot to me. Anyway, guys, see you later.